Okay, so this is a quick demonstration of the current version of my new plugin Riff. This is a VST3 plugin. It's also available as AU AudioUnits v3 and as a standalone app. At the moment, it is only available for Mac OS. I will be working towards getting this for Windows, but for now, if you're a Mac OS user, you can certainly use this. I've tested this in Ableton Live. I've tested this in, of course, Bitwig, which is open here. I've tested it in Reason as well. And I want to quickly show you where this project has reached. It is at version 0.8.0. So the idea about this plugin is to be like a utility for you to kind of get rid of the random stuff that you do while creating a track. So by random, what I mean is, so let's say I wanted to, by the way, before I go there, I've got this little kick bass going just for the sake of this demo. It sounds something like this. Okay, so where Riff comes into the picture is, there are these things that we do. So I'm going to create a clip over here, and I have a serum patch going over here for a very typical FM lead kind of a sound. So what we do is we typically put together something like this. And then we keep playing this over and over again till it kind of sounds all right, and then we keep tweaking it as we go along. So I'll just, and we do this quite randomly, right? So let me just tweak, play this over and over again. And obviously you can do longer notes, longer patterns. Something like this. Okay, so something like this. So I don't want to use the manually created clip like this. What I want to do is I want to automate that part, and there's no AI or anything like this. There's just an algorithm that's running with some amount of musical phrasing involved, which aims to remove that random bit. So this is the plugin. This is the interface for the plugin. It is divided into these 4 quadrants, if you will. The top left is for musical settings, like setting the root note and its octave. Some scales are available. I'll add some more, but these are what are available at the moment. Then there are some pattern settings for creating these A-B parts, or A-B or A-B-C-D parts, whichever way you look at it. And then there is a set of styles available, which we will go through some of these right now, and a note length that you can kind of settle on while using this. There are pattern creation options as well, and I'll get to these later. But on the right side, in the top right quadrant, we have 2 options. One is chords, which lets you add chords for the common progressions, and for riffs, which also has some more scale note filters. What that means is, if it's selected to all, then any scale that you selected over here, all the notes of that scale would be used in one of these styles, not all of them, whichever uses a scale in that. If it is odd, then it means just use the odd notes from that scale. If it is even, then use the even notes of that scale and the rest of it. And then finally, this lower bottom right quadrant has this big nice green button for you to just simply drag stuff from here and place it in your DAW like this. So as you drag, it uses these settings that you have left over here to create a new clip each time, a new MIDI clip like this. So what I dragged right now created this. Let me play that. Okay, if I drag again, it's going to create another one. And you can change its octave like this and its root note. So let's say I try G in the octave, in the second octave, like this. At the moment, it's not using anything from the scale, because this style, which is pulse, which is just this, this typical single note FM lead that we make. So I am just going to go back to the C as my root note, because my bass is in C, and I am just going to drag one more clip over here. Here it's using this pattern style as this combination as A, B. I'll create a slightly longer one, A, B, A, C, A, B, A, D, like this, and then I'll probably loop this for the duration of this loop, like this, and it sounds like this. You get the picture, right? It's just randomly placing these notes, and each time you drag, it selects new random positions. The structure, so to speak, is when it does this combination. So if you are doing A, B, what it means is it is going to create a part for A by randomly clicking like this for this note length, and then it will also create one for B, and then it will position A 3 times and then B 1 time to give it some sort of a structure. So this is a very rudimentary way of putting together these patterns. And in this example, we are using this style called pulse. There are some more available, but before that, let's look at note length. So let's say I was on 16th note so far, let's say go for 8th note and then drag that. Instead, it will have notes created with 8th note as the note length, and it sounds like this. Maybe a little higher, so everything here was going on. Right, I'll go back to 16 notes. Okay, let's move on to another style. I like this one, Counterpoint. This is a very typical kind of style that we do for leads, where we have one bass note, so to speak, and then we have other notes along a scale like this, and then we keep some notes along the bass and some notes along some scale. So instead of doing this manually like this, where we are randomly placing stuff, we'll just use this style called Counterpoint, and maybe we can just drag this like this. So it has generated this clip, if you see, where it has C as the bass notes like this, and since I had Phrygian dominant selected over here, the notes that it has selected other than this bass note are from the Phrygian dominant. Sounds something like this. Needless to say, it can generate, every time you drag, it's just going to generate a new combination of notes. So the bass note is still C, which we selected over here, and the rest of the notes which are randomly selected are from the C Phrygian dominant scale, and all of them are set with the note length of 16 notes. Dragging as many as you want. Each time you drag is going to create a new combination of notes, and you get a new clip. So you can keep dragging till you like a particular combination, and then you can use that in your song, in your track. There are some other features as well. So let me mute this for a bit. Let me go to chords for a second over here. So as soon as you kind of switch between these two, the drop down over here changes. When you select chords, you get these chord progressions, and I'll certainly add more of them. But the interesting part is, what it does is it takes one of these combinations that you select and uses whatever scale you have to produce these chords, these progressions. So, here the selection is 1, 5, 6 and 4. So, let us take a simple pattern and maybe just a small one for one note. This is a whole note, 1 N stands for whole note, which means almost like a bar, and let us drag that onto this chords channel that I have, and this is how it sounds. So, what it has generated is it has generated the 1, 5, 6, 4 pattern on the Phrygian dominant. Maybe we can just go a little bit higher and let us bring this over here, and it has generated this pattern for these chords. Okay, and each time you drag, it will try to create a slightly different combination of that pattern. And let us extend this, and I have got this gatekeeper thing going. I will just enable that so that it is tolerable as we play this. Right. So, you get these chords and then you can obviously play around with the settings. You do not have to follow this exact same pattern. So, let us say I go for 8 notes and instead of simple I go for say syncopated. I do not even know what is going to happen. Maybe I can select a slightly longer one. So, what it has generated is it has generated these chords being played on this pattern called syncopated. Yeah, so something like that. So, this is the plugin. There are some more features to it. I will create a longer video with a little bit more nuance to it. I just wanted to kind of put this out there, version 0.8.0. The details for downloading it's free. I'll share the details for downloading this plugin in the description. But please try it out, see if you like it, and let me know how you feel. And if you have any suggestions on how I can make it better or whatever. It has some other styles as well. Do try it out, like a roll. It can be used for drums. I already, let me show one thing before I go. So, let me mute this. So, we are back to just the kick bass. Okay. What I am going to do is I am going to do 16th notes, back to riffs. I think C octave maybe 1, and the style I am going to use is offbeat, and let me quickly demonstrate what I had in mind when I created this. So, there is this style of creating bass lines. If you do not want to have this typical bass line like this, what you can do is you can rearrange it a little bit, something like this and then this, right. Let me extend this somewhat and duplicate these 3 notes and change the order of these so that it looks like this, and then if I play it out, right. This is a very common style that we do for these bass lines if you do not want to have a single note. So, for that I have this style called offbeat, and offbeat does exactly what you just did over here, randomly pick some notes and try to arrange them in a certain pattern. So, let me drag this offbeat pattern and see what it has generated. So, it has generated this pattern. I want to just check if the octave is right. Yeah. I can keep on generating more. Okay, so yeah, so that's a little bit demonstration for the offbeat style and can be used with bass lines. And I've realized that if you change the note length, it goes well with the other styles of, oh sorry, the other sounds as well, like leads and stuff as well. It's not limited to just the bass lines. Yeah, so do try it out. Do try out roll and fill and stuff. I'll create separate videos for this, but give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Yeah, cheers.